Today, I just want to talk to you guys about just some ideas and thoughts I've been having over the last couple of weeks. I just got back from vacation and kind of realized along this trip a lot of different ideas and thoughts and feelings when it comes to where I kind of feel like I'm at in my career and what I'd like to see changed. So, this might be a bit of a random topic, different stuff that I go through, but the basic video arc I want to tell you guys today is how I've been surviving as a creative, and what I really want to do is start mattering with what I create. And a big part of that is the types of clients that I have and the type of content that I put out, and even just the heart and feeling behind what it is I want to create as a filmmaker and photographer is something that is very important to me to figure out. So we'll start with the very first topic. So number one, social media as a tool versus a trap. Something I realized during this whole trip around Oregon was I have this habit of anytime there's dead time, always opening my phone and using Instagram or TikTok or YouTube to kind of dull the silence and honestly numb my mind, whether it's political content or silly meme videos or just stuff really no one needs to be watching, like AI slop. I just find myself always in this constant habit of dulling my senses and not letting myself be able to sit in the silence of my own thoughts and creativity. And that sucks. There were so many moments just flying my drone, specifically along Elk Beach, I think that's what it was called, or Elk Ridge, and hanging out at Cannon Beach, that like the joy I got when I first began filmmaking started coming back, where it's like, wow, I can't believe I get to go to this beautiful place, capture these incredible shots, relive and retell visually the experiences that I had here. And that just kind of woke something in me that was pretty dormant for a long time. Because even though I'm consistently busy with different client jobs or work that I need to do or edits I need to finish, it's a hamster wheel, you know? And when you're doing the same thing all the time and not learning and growing in the process and just kind of keeping things going and going and going, both with the positive and with your vices, it definitely creates this recurring system of always feeling like, cool, I did this thing, but I'm still stuck. Oh, I like failed at this and I'm still stuck. So it's like no matter what positive or what negative you have, you're just constantly in this middle space, and it's not a good feeling. And it's something that I've just been doing to myself for years now, which gets me to point number 2. Survival mode versus impact mode. The starving artist rut. I've spent 8 years with this as my full-time career. I'm very grateful for it. I'm 30 now, started at 22. But it was always based on being a filmmaker and a photographer, and the type of stuff I was making then when I first started versus the type of stuff I'm making now is so drastically different and so safe. And a big part of that is, going through the pandemic sent me through a ton of depression. I lost all of my clients. I had to navigate some very tough times. But instead of turning that negative into a positive, I've kind of internalized since that time this woe is me story of like, everything's hard, everything's changing, I don't like this anymore. I remember when it used to be this way, I remember when it used to be that way. And the reason why I'm doing that is largely, I'm upset that, a lot of things have changed, as a lot of filmmakers can be. But I'm upset because I'm not learning and adapting. I'm so I'm so selfish and so greedy internally that the idea of having to change or adapt or grow a system that I've kind of chaotically cobbled together over the years is more infuriating than admitting and learning and figuring out new ways to navigate the changing times. And that is a pseudo-surreal feeling. I wouldn't say positive or negative, but it's like, I'm just bummed that I was in 2018 making all these things like orca documentaries, and I got to travel to celebrity resorts and film all sorts of cool content there for someone else's advocacy group. I got to travel to New York and Texas to also do more advocacy stuff, and it's like, cool. I've since then just kind of sat around, played video games, and whatever work comes my way, I do it. And the motivation to create anything or pursue anything that even remotely resonates or makes me excited or happy has just gone completely out the door, which is so silly. And this leads me to my next point, number 3. Advocacy work is where I felt the most alive. It's interesting when you look back at your career and it's like, oh, I remember this sprinkle, that sprinkle, this sprinkle. And the thing that stands out to me the most is 2018 and 2022. In 2018, like I said, the Orca film, lots of advocacy work, making amazing content for amazing organizations. And then 2022, I got to make political ads for Sharon Shoemake. The same day, for instance, that the Roe versus Wade bill got overturned was the same day I filmed an ad for women's rights, which was insane timing and made me feel like I was in the right place of history. And, on top of that, I was in Haiti when the insurrection happened in the US on January 6th. So I got to see how another country reacts to the insanity of modern day US politics. And it's like, man, like I've been in all these little pockets of like, I loved what I was doing here. I loved what I was doing here. I love I was doing here, to now the way my business has shifted because, I was largely weddings also, tried to grow that into something. And then I was like, nah, it's not for me. And then I've been like kind of just figuring it out. And it's like, I've been in this position of just making so much content that I don't necessarily love, because it's filler content. It's content for the internet. It's content that you see once, you like, or you swipe, and that's it. And that irks me, because there's got to be a better way to do it where whatever I'm doing has more of a tangible impact than just making someone money or making a business more known, or I just feel like there's so much more that's possible that we could put out there and change. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like rambling a little bit on this one, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know why things shifted. I don't know why I got so insecure. I don't know why my mental health went so all over the place with everything. And I just don't want to be, I don't want to forget what it is that I love about filmmaking, which is doing things that matter. Which, gets me to my next point, using your voice versus checking your privilege. And this one's a tough one to talk about, because I know like there was different points in history where I knew I did the right thing during different chaotic times, like during the pandemic. I masked up. I chose to not associate with people who didn't. I chose to keep my distance. I chose to be alone with only my partner at the time as the only person that I saw. Great. But, there comes a point where doing your part in these kind of different social construct scenarios isn't really enough. as opposed to like telling the story of how people are doing or what they're doing. Yeah, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but it's like, it's like, you can do the right thing, but if you're not still creative, what's the point? You know, like, you still got to be putting something out there. You still got to be making a difference. You still got to be putting your voice out there so people hear you, understand you, and know you. And whatever insecurity I've grown over the years with who I am as a person, my voice, my characteristics, my general dislike of my ability to learn anything and feeling kind of like a failure sometimes. Like, I need to put all this self-deprecation and all this self-doubt and self-bad talk out of the way and use what skills I do have to actually elevate and make something that matters. You know, I don't want to be famous. I want to help people who matter be famous. I don't necessarily want to be poor, but like, it'd be sick to like have everything that I need met so then I can focus on actually making a difference with who it is that I work with. And I just like, I'm torn because, like, on one hand, like, yes, if you own a business, you want it to grow and expand and become something that, you know, you can do great things with. Like, I had someone that I worked with, my Gandys, say that, like, the more money you make, the more of a difference you can make. And I love that. But then also it's like this, like, but playing with capitalism, do I love that? But it's like literally how my business works. Like, it, you know, like, 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 you know, and it's definitely put me in this, like, this creative identity crisis, which is like, what is my pricing? How am I navigating AI? What is my worth? What comes next? Do I need further education? Do I need to explore other options within this industry? Do I need to learn other skill sets? Should I just fully invest my time into Figma and Claude and learn everything I can about designing websites and apps and everything else through vibe coding? Or, you know, it's, oh man, it's not even like analysis paralysis. It's like, we just have so many options now for things we can do and be a part of and explore with, to the point where, like, I just don't know. I don't know what's right. I don't know what I need to change. I don't know what I need to do better. And underneath it all, I also realize that kind of the big thing I'm struggling with is, how do I make what I'm making make a difference, but still make me money and still support me and not have to compromise integrity or morals or who I work with or why I work with them, just to make rent, just to make whatever. And I'm inspired largely by this idea because of the stories I've heard of other people within my community who've done incredible things in the short time of their own career. And I don't know. I'm mostly documenting this just to kind of communicate that, like, I'm fully aware that there are things I need to change and I need to grow and I need to work on. And a large part of me rambling about all of this is just like kind of putting the ask for accountability and the ask of questions of, like, what ideas do you guys have? What are you doing to shift and change? Is there anything in this that, like, you can say or speak on that you're like, yo, like, think about this or talk about that? Or man, I don't even know. I just feel like putting stuff out there, forcing myself to put my face out there, forcing myself to just talk and ramble and be okay with that on camera and not worry about what it is that I'm necessarily saying at any given moment is something I need to be doing. Partially because then it's like a really sweet way to document the process of figuring out what it is I'm even trying to accomplish. And then also trying to weave together, like, what are all the different missing pieces or all the different things that I need to change and grow and learn in. And it's funny that I say all this just to, like, kind of get to back to the start of the video. It's like all these ideas came from just taking a vacation for the first time in my career. And I think that's also an issue. It's like I've valued a very distorted version of hustling to the point where I've kind of lost who I am as an artist and what I want to even accomplish as a creative. And I've replaced that with a strong desire to largely make money, support myself that way. And I don't really want to be in that rabbit hole anymore. So with that being said, I don't even know that. Again, if whatever you guys want to say it, hit me with it. I know this was kind of a ramble. I know it was a lot of things, but this is me just putting it out there, growing and learning as a creative, learning to talk to camera. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you later.